Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What's your name again?
My name is Sai Chiran.
Cool. Nice to meet you, Sai.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for accepting my request and accepting to talk with me.
Yes, sir. What time is
So
it over there?
now it's 12 p.m. 12
Oh, cool.
a.m. Sorry.
Okay.
Uh, so it's midnight here.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Just a little after midnight over here in Texas.
You're from Texas.
Yeah, East Texas.
So I thought to introduce you to my audience.
What is that?
I thought to introduce you to my audience.
You don't do interviews to your audience?
No, I thought to introduce you to my audience.
Oh, okay.
So can you introduce yourself to my audience?
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. My name's Aaron Dunn. I am uh, I'm a social media consultant, a sales coach, sales trainer, content marketer, published poet, and podcast producer. That's what I do. I've got a business called Strong Com Consulting, and COM is the root word that means together or in common. And I use that word as a springboard to talk about three things that I help people with, and three things that I'm very passionate about, which would be communicating value, communication, communication, community building, the second C, community building, and how those two things build stronger company, whether that's the company that you're building, like a business, or the company that you keep. So that's what I do.
So you are into multiple fields.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to say one, it would be marketing, essentially, sales and marketing. And sales and marketing are so interlinked. Like you can't really have one without the other. And podcasting also fits in that as well. So they all kind of work together. It's multiple fields, but at the same time, they're really principles that are applied to any business or brand.
So all the fields that you said are interconnected.
Yeah.
So you're a business consultant.
Yes.
Okay. So what type of business? What kind of
Well,
business?
yeah, the businesses that I have experience with, kind of going in reverse order. I've got experience with trucking and logistics. I have experience with recruitment. If you're in like recruiting, I have experience with digital services, so like graphic design, that kind of thing. I have experience in automotive sales. I have experience with um, a variety of industries, but really, as much as I have specified knowledge in specific industries, uh, and also including like politics, I've worked on political campaigns, that kind of thing. It's really about the application of best practices for marketing and sales that could help anybody boost their business. I'm a Grant Cardone licensee. Have you ever heard of Grant Cardone?
No.
He's a nationally known sales trainer. It's helped millions and millions of people across the planet, and I work with him. I'm authorized to educate people on his materials as well, and he teaches sales principles. So, like, just you know, uh, you know, the psychology of a buyer, how to follow up prospects, how to close deals, negotiate deals, how to stay motivated when you're trying to sell something. So that's what I help people with, and those principles can be applied to any industry as long as you've got a little bit of creativity and know-how on how to kind of work that up.
So podcast. Tell me about it.
Yeah. What do you want to know about a podcast?
You have podcast.
Yes, I have a podcast. It's called Strong Calm Podcast, and it's really based on the consulting work that I do. So I connect with strong communicators. Sorry, my dog is really mad. I'm not playing with it. Jack, no, hold on, hold on. Okay, so communicate. Uh, I talk with strong communicators, strong people with the ability to build community, or who are doing really valuable work in their local communities, and then we talk about how those two things build stronger companies. So I do interviews with entrepreneurs that are in my network, introduce people to these people that I admire a lot and learn a lot from, so people can have an example of what it looks like to have that strong calm, the communication, the community building, and the company either all dialed in. Not saying these people are perfect, but or at least on the way and making that progression. So like when I saw your page, for example, I was like, oh, this guy is invested. He's committed. He's making his name known. He's getting out there and he's making connections with people that that you're interested in having those type of conversations and building. You're building a global community, which is really inspiring. So um, that's the kind of conversations that I like to have on the podcast.
So only business related people, only entrepreneurs.
It's actually it's not just entrepreneurs. There's people like one of my most recent episodes with D Phil. He's a artist, so and I do have entrepreneurs as well, but also have people who are part of nonprofits. I have comedians. There's been a lot of different people because strong communication comes in different forms, and community building comes in different forms. So sometimes that does apply to business, but a lot of times it also applies just to enriching the lives of other people. And so whenever you have that ability to enrich the lives of another person, then you're probably not too far from a business. Of course you got to
Yeah,
get some things, you got to get
yeah,
some things dialed in or whatever, but at the same time it's really about how can communication, conversations like this, build other people up to such a degree that they become a greater contributor to the planet, and to the not only to the planet but to the person just right next to them. So like how can like what I'm really passionate about is helping people, just regular people, because I'm just a regular guy in East Texas. I grew up in a small town. I don't have a college degree or a bunch of millions of dollars or anything, but I have been able to build a successful career in what I do, and I do that through setting really big goals and taking a lot of action. And what I love helping people do is go from, hey, I'm right here and I want to go here.
okay,
I like helping people bridge that gap. And I'm best
okay.
at bridging that gap in sales, marketing, and podcasting. But I don't know if I answered the question or if I just
Yeah,
rambled,
yeah,
but
yeah, understood. Because whatever you said, everything is related to communication.
yes. So what was your motivation for starting these?
The same answer I'll give you that you gave me, the communication. I just want to communicate with all the human beings who are into different professions and who are and living in different parts of the world. I just wanted to do an experiment whether a person from a particular part of the world can communicate with every part of this planet or not. So I think I started it and it is going very well. I never thought that 60 to 70 country people come to my show and communicate and feel comfortable in telling about their stories and their experiences and what they have uh, uh, learned and what they teach and everything which is related to them. And I decided to talk with people from different professions. From different professions, people have different. They use different vocabulary. For example, IT. Information technology guy uses different vocabulary, and when it comes to marine biology, that guy uses the words which are related to underwater. And one guy talks about mafia, uh, organized mafia. He uses different vocabulary. And when
Yeah,
I talk with a musician, he uses different vocabulary. When it comes to a spiritual teacher, and that girl uses different vocabulary. So completely touching different colors every time, every day. So it is like rainbow. So then I understood that okay. So I became universal person. Then I understood that I saw your profile. You are kind of, you come under the same category I come. So you are into multiple fields. Like it is very few people I think in the world are multi-talented.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Well, I
who
think everybody's got talent and a gem inside them. I think everybody's got that little that glimmer, that light. And I think a lot of times the world, the weight of the world starts to darken it out, or maybe even extinguish it through just life experience. But that doesn't mean that we can't get in there and really uh, bring it out again, And I think that's what it is. I think the communication is really what influences whether or not that comes around. So like the conversations that you're around, that you introduce yourself to, and the way that we talk to ourselves, that's what's going to influence whether or not we get what we're here to do. You know what I mean? Out and into the world. I like saying this. Use your words. Use your words. So the words that you have that you speak, the words that you speak to yourself, the words that you think. A mentor of mine has this great quote. It says, "What you think becomes what you say. What you say becomes what you do. What you do becomes your reality and your legacy." And so it's just so important for us to take inventory of the words that we use, and then put action toward those words. Use them like they were tools, to bring about the life that you want. And
yeah.
so yeah, that's what I'm all about. What I
When
got a question for you. What's one thing you wish more people knew about where you're from?
I didn't get you.
What's one thing that you wish more people knew about where you're from?
Where I'm from, I'm in from India.
Yeah.
Very less
So what's
people
one
know that. Very less people know. They know me as a human being, but very less people knows that I'm from India.
So what do you wish more people, maybe even Americans, knew, or anybody, but what do you wish more people knew about India? Because India is what the most populous continent on the planet. I mean,
Correct,
there's a
correct.
lot of things happening there. So, what's one thing you wish more people knew about India?
I think culture. It is multi-culture country and food. Food is it is a symbol for food. India is famous for food, and you will see a lot of religions in India, and different language speaking people, and you will see a lot of gods in India, and history, a lot of history, and you will see a lot of talent people. I think world is taking the skilled workers from India, and Indians are everywhere on this planet. And I think India is a collection of different things. Like I said, different colors. So everybody from every part of the world can come and can live in this country, in this part of the world, because the climate conditions are not extreme, and the people are the people are so good, where you will see different works. People here will do different kinds of works, and it's a lot of things. Places, food, roads, and population. It's a highly populated country in the world, and yeah, everything. There are a lot of
Yeah,
things. A lot of
everybody.
country.
I've got a great friend who is Indian, and I've met so many nice people from India that are just come like there's a particular nature that Indian people have that is just really really nice. I really like the people that I've met from there. But you might know some people that are really ugly and terrible, but most of the Indians that I've ever met have a pretty good attitude and view on life.
Yeah, maybe I don't think the generalizing is the right thing, but I think
I
Everybody is a
agree with that.
human being. Yeah, everybody is a human being. I'm knowing more now. Everybody, German guy and a Russian and England. I think I'm not observing a lot of difference. When before starting this YouTube channel, I thought that it's tough for me to communicate and connect with different language speaking, but the language is same, but the vocabulary is different. But once I started understanding the vocabulary, I think it become very easy, and people are understanding me, and I'm understanding them. So even the people, the viewers who are watching the conversation, and they are enjoying because two different country people, two different persons talking about each other and exchanging words and trying to understand. It's a new visual. I never seen this kind of a content anywhere. So I thought I did what I love, and that became a style now. I think a lot of Americans gave me a lot of compliments. I feel great for that, and you too. You
Yeah,
being in different part of the world, giving me compliment and watching me is a big thing for me.
yeah, of course, man. It's inspiring. It's inspiring. Let me ask you this. Okay, so on the podcast that I do, I typically ask this question. This is the question that I ask every guest, and I know it's your show, but I thought it would be fun because you've mentioned vocabulary so many times. So I call this the village question. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so imagine that you're building a village from scratch. Like somebody gives you a bunch of land and they say, "Hey, Sai, I want you to create your own village." And but so you got to get people there. But the only way that you can get people there is if you use four billboards that face the four directions. So north, south, east, and west, you've got four signs. Okay. And on those signs, you have to put one word that would attract the type of people that you want in your village. So, what four words would you use to get people into your village?
Into my village. Okay.
Yeah. What kind of people do you want based on four different words?
Any kind of people. My selection or any particular set of
Yeah.
people.
So, yeah, you would use the words to attract the people that you want. So like what four values or principles would you put
Okay.
on those signs to get people there?
First is development.
What
Second
is
is first is development.
develop
Development. First is development. Second is communication. Third is connection, relations,
mhm.
connection. Fourth is honesty. So
Love it.
I'll choose this. I think three or two will work for sure. I'll get
Yeah,
50% of the people. Yeah, I think so. Because you gave
awesome.
me less time, just I used it. But I have a lot of
Yeah,
words.
yeah. But it's always a fun question because nobody answers it the same way, and it's always fun to hear what other people have. You know.
What if I ask you the same question?
Oh yeah, okay. So I would cheat a little bit and I would put five signs up because I've got five values that I operate off of in my own personal life, and it's an acronym that it's called DRIVE. Okay, so DRIVE, DRIVE. Okay, so
Okay.
dedication. I want to be around people that are dedicated to being a contribution, really. So like a dedicated to something. You got to have like a waking up with the hey, I got stuff to do. I'm dedicated to
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, relationship. So I want to be around people who build relationships, not break them down. That
Right.
that that like to connect with other people. Integrity. So it flows right from relationship, but like I want to connect with people that do what they say they're going to do. And if confronted with a particular issue, they will do the right thing. for the benefit of
Yeah.
other people. Um, V is for volition, which is a fun vocabulary word to make the acronym work. Volition is willpower. People who,
Willpower.
they've got like a project that they're dedicated to, but they also have the willpower to really see it all the way through. And then the last one, if is enthusiasm. So
Enthusiasm.
yeah, I want people to have some fun too. So drive. That's what I'm all about.
Nice. This is the word that you created, drive.
Yep.
Fantastic. It sounds
Yep. That
good.
I was when I was in car sales about 5 or 6 years ago, and I had started um, my sales and marketing career there. Um, I car. I don't know about in India, but in America, car salesmen, they're a little like people don't trust car salesmen very much. So in order
Okay.
to build trust, I was trying to um, tell people I use Drive as a way as a communication tool to say, look, I'm dedicated. I want to build relationships. I have integrity. I will work for you, and I like to have fun. I wanted to build that relationship through that tool. So I decided that that was the standard that I was going to hold myself to,
Okay.
and that was also the standard that I was going to set. So when I made a decision to move jobs or get in business with somebody or what have you, those things had to be there for me to do, work with somebody. So yeah, it was just an idea that I had, and it's worked for me so far. So
Okay, I have a related question. What is driving you? What makes you to wake up in the morning and do things every day?
yeah, I think it's because I think what drives me is the fact that we can, that we're given one life, and that we have, especially, everybody has a different upbringing, different life experience, different resources available. We're all brought up with a particular set, right? Like I'm from East Texas, and you're from India. Like we all have a particular thing about us, and that particular thing is what makes us special. And everybody is as special as anybody, you know. And so, um, what I've learned over the past, I'm 30, so over the past 30 years, is that everybody's the same in terms of we're, like you said, we're all human beings. And so, like, if we look at the biggest stars from Hollywood to Bollywood, you
Mm.
know, they're all the same people too. They're just regular people. And so they all achieve really, really great things from what we can see, but it's just because they put themselves out there. They're contributing. They're bringing more into the world than they're really taking, and that is evidenced by who they are and why we know them. And so, to me, it's like I think we all have that capability, and it's a matter of, well, what more can I do to be of benefit to another person? And what more could I do? Because when I create more value from somebody else, then I get more out of my life. And that also equips me to do more for other people. Like it just, it's a cyclical effect. It's like if I give as much as I can of myself, then I get so much more back. And that just equips me to give more. And so I think that I think that's what everybody should do. I think everybody's got untapped potential. And I think everybody's got the ability to do so much. And so we should be striving to do as much as we can with the time we've got, because eventually we won't have it. And so might as well, press on the gas and go for it.
So I have something to say about the word that you used, drive.
Mm-hmm.
So dedication, yeah, dedication is something that every human should have, and to make things done, and that is the only thing which makes him or her to get the positive result that they needed. The dedication is very important if they are doing any work, like any work. It is very important. R. What did you said about R?
What is it about dedication?
Yeah, R. Drive.
Oh, the
You
R,
said. Yeah.
relationship.
Relationship. Yeah. Relationship depends on the communication. So it can be a mother-father relationship, or friendship, or wife and husband, or employee and a company's a CEO, or any kind of a connection, we all human being, now we are talking like this because of the medium called language. And language is a collection of sentences, and sentences are the collection of words. So language is the medium which is connecting, and if you are very good in language, you can you can uh, connect with the person who understands that language. So when you connect, the relationship builds. When you start exchanging those words, and you will build a connection. If you are very good in communication and relation both are interconnected. So very good communicators will have more connections, like they can connect with more people. I think I'm the practical example, and you are the practical example. You do the same in your podcast. So very few people are very good with the language that they learn. And so that is, the relationship depends on the communication. So I is integrity. Yeah. When you're doing when you're building yourself, when you're building your personality, and when you're earning something that you have, and you should maintain that. You have to every day, you have to see yesterday, and you have to see today what you have learned. Is that less or is that more? Even if it is 1% that is greater than yesterday, I think you did something great. So every day, you are learning, and integrity is one of the important things for every human being. And we you said some word, but
Yeah,
you said, yeah,
volition. Volition.
relation.
It's a word that means willpower, to will something.
Willpower. Yeah, willpower. So there, everybody will have will, but everybody will have wishes. They have wish, but only few people have will. So if
That's
you want,
strong.
yeah, wishes everyone to, I want to become God. I want to create something which has not existed before. I want to study. I want to do a degree. I want to become a scientist, or I want to become an entrepreneur, or I want to start a YouTube channel, or I want to become, everybody have wishes. Only few people have will to do that. And those comes under the set that you said, the film actors that you said, they come out from their comfort zone. They don't put walls around their thoughts. They'll break the walls, and they'll think very free. Like they'll ask questions. I think questioning is the only way to get answers, and answers gives us information. Information gives us knowledge, and with knowledge we can create and we can destroy things.
Yeah.
And will, I think will, every day humans should wake up and should have that will. I want to do this. I want to do this. No matter if it rains, or if it flood, or if anything comes against me, I will do that. So that is well. So I E E is enthusiasm. So enthusiasm and will both are interconnected. If you have enthusiasm, I want to do this. Very few people, you will see, and I saw that in your face once the video is started. This video is started.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it fun? It's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Like life is fun. So like, to me, it's like you asked me like, what is my drive? It's like, well, it's kind of like the same drive that I've had since I was a kid, I was like getting into stuff, you dig in the ground, you always finding something new to play with. And like as you become an adult, there's just different ways to play, and you figure out that the game is more than just blocks or Legos or sand castles. Like you can build real castles when you're when you're an adult, or you can draw castles, or you can create these different worlds and things. So like it's just fun. It's fun. We got to find the reason to be enthusiastic in our life. And I think if people are struggling with finding that enthusiasm, find the enthusiasm in life itself, because it's an absolute gift.
And you told me about how to sell a car, and you said about uh, uh, you gave an example. I think what I learned is not the communication and everything, the language, everything came next. What I learned is human psychology. My subject is actually computer science and engineering. I did masters in software engineering. Uh, but
Awesome.
other than that, I used to study human psychology, human emotions, human feelings, and human basic needs, and human psychology, and intelligence, everything which is connected with the natural human body, the mental, physical, emotional things. So when I understood that, everything become easy, communication become easy, and the gestures, everything became easy. And I learned language, and language is something which came with my degree. Language is very important if I want to study technical subject. So
Hmm.
it's, I think that helped me. And human psychology, any person who understands human psychology can live on this planet very happily and can earn whatever he wanted or she wanted.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with you. There's a reason that classes in college and school and stuff, they always start with vocabulary. It's because
Yes.
they're the building blocks of what you do. And when you start to study human psychology like you have and I have to a certain degree, start to talk about emotional intelligence and those type of things, like it's so powerful. Like that gives you such an edge in life when you start to understand how the brain works, how the mind works, how people kind of tick behind behind our eyeballs, because it gives you it gives you the foundation that you need to to internally and externally deal with these emotions that we have in our life and be aware. You know what I mean? Like so many times the reason we fail, it's not because we're not working hard, it's because we're unaware of all the things that are not working. Like once we get the awareness and we have an acceptance with that that is causing us strife or pain or problems, anytime that and that could be within ourselves or within our business, we have to have the awareness, accept where we're at, and then take action to fix it. And so once we're able to have all that, then we can actually make a change. And the human psychology front is just like, okay, how am I generating awareness for me, and what do I need to get into acceptance with for me? And then what actions do I need to take based on where I'm at and where I want to go? That's what it's all about.
Are you good in communicating with your dog?
I try. I try to communicate. Here's my other dog, Jane.
Wow.
Jane listens all the time, and then Jack only listens sometimes. Where is he at? Yeah, he only listens sometimes.
Okay.
So, but he's a good dude.
Okay. So, just have you tried to communicate with other animals? You are more into communication and connectivity, right?
Do I try to communicate with animals?
With animals, rabbits,
Yeah,
and
I mean, I definitely talk to my pets. My wife and I, we definitely talk with them like uh, but the thing is with dogs is that they're smart. Like they understand no, they understand boundaries, they understand. You got to have the rod sometimes, but at the same time, they understand. Like they're very very intuitive, about their surroundings. So. Uh, I haven't interviewed one of my dogs on my podcast, but I'm sure it would be thrilling if I did.
how many videos, how many audio clips are that you did?
Um, that's a good question. I'm not exactly sure how many episodes that I've got at the moment, because I've been recording them for the past 2 or 3 years. And I'm not very consistent. So one of my goals for 2021 is to be way, way more consistent with my episodes. But there's probably 30 to 40, probably something like that, maybe 50 that I've done. If they're not solo, just me, they're interviews with other people.
Okay, so you work and you do this as a business consultant. You will be that is your full-time work, and podcast is your part-time work.
So I actually do have a full-time employer. So I do work for someone else, but I do podcasting, sales, and marketing for them as my career. And then the consulting is just an extra side job that I do to help more people because I love what I do. I love helping other people. And so even when I get home from work, it's like something that I enjoy doing for myself, but also helping others with. And I like seeing people kick off projects and get better at sales, marketing, podcasting. So yeah,
Are you a good listener?
I think so.
Okay,
You got to be a
like
good listener. If you're a salesperson or a marketer, or a podcaster, you have to be a great listener. Like
yeah,
it's a prerequisite because if you're not
actually,
listening, then you'll never ever ever be able to sell anything. And then if you don't know who if you're not listening, you're not going to know who your audience is. If you don't know who your audience is, you're not going to be able to market effectively. And then as a podcaster, um, I got into hosting a podcast after I listened to thousands of hours of podcasts. You know what I mean? So I approach a podcast as a listener a lot of times of just like, okay, how can I make this the most valuable for the person listening? So you got to be a good listener. So I'm
do
sure
do you
I'm sure there's
yeah
some improvement to be made, especially if you ask my wife. But
do you know who is ruling this world? What set of people are ruling this world, and why they are ruling this world?
say, sorry, what?
Do you know what set of people are ruling this world, and why they are ruling this world, and why they are in the top in the list? Do you know why? What made them to sit there and rule everybody and create so many business and create so much energy? Do you know? I have something to say. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who's ruling the world, man. I think I think I think if it's a person that's ruling the world, they're just like us. They just happen to grow up and be in a different, be in a different
As
part. You know what I mean?
as
So
as a communication specialist, I want your answer. Why they are there? Why they are so successful?
so are you
What
talking
work?
about like the Bill Gates and the Elon Musks of the world?
Yeah. Steve Jobs,
Why
Bill
are they so
Gates.
successful?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hold on, my headphones got broken up. So I mean, I can venture to guess. I don't know, but but
The only one quality that made them to sit there is understanding things. A human being who understands things is the most powerful and the dangerous human being who understands things.
the person who understands things.
Yeah, who understands what he's doing or what he's observing it with his senses. He's looking at something. If he can see that, the observation, if he's understanding that, and if he's listening to a voice or a sound, if he can understand it, and if he's smelling something with his nose, and if he can understand the smell, and if he's tasting a food, and if he can understand the taste of the food and the touch, all these five senses, who is using the human being who is using these senses and collecting the information from the world through these senses and understanding what exactly the collected information, and he's sitting in the top position.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like you've got to like the people that are the biggest in the world, I wouldn't say they run the world. Like Jeff Bezos doesn't run the world. He just has a really big business. Same with Bill Gates. So, I mean, they have extraordinary power. That's undoubtable. But I think you're right in that the reason they're at where they're at is because they're thinking 5, 10, 20 years ahead, and they have the resources to fund their future. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
future that they see that is happening down the road. And so they have studied, thought about, engineered, and they're, I mean, the people that we've mentioned, they understand technology to a certain degree that's, you know, and how that actually will relate to the consumer and in what time frame that innovation will um, be accessible to that consumer before anybody else does. And maybe even they don't know, but they're willing to take the risk. Like I think about Elon Musk, you know, he had a vision to start sending people into space in his rockets 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, 20, I don't know, however many, I don't know what the year
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah.
he also knew that he had to take an extremely, like a huge amount of financial risk to try and make that so for himself. So he's like, I know that there's going to be a private space company one day that is going to use NASA astronauts in their rockets. Okay.
Okay.
I want it to be me. And I've got
Okay.
$100-something million to use. Let's try.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy. But he had to know the engineering problems, which he did. He does. You know, he's an engineer. He had to know all these other, you know, very, very smart problems, which only a specific amount of people are going to know. So I think that if somebody wakes up with the ambition of, I want to be those top people, and it, you know, we're talking about a scale of billionaires, but I still think about like, well, if I want to be the top person, like the podcast that I produce for my job is a top podcast according to somebody, according to one of the largest media outlets in our industry. That's good. Does everybody in our industry know about it? No, but like we're the reason I bring that up is because we are on that trajectory and we know the specific amount of people that are going to be the influencers that will get us to more people, to more, right? So like what I'm trying to say is even if it's in your podcast or in your sales career in a particular industry or for your country or for your state or province, I don't know how India has it like kind of chunked up or whatever, but like if you want to be in the top noticeable seat, even if you want to be like famous on Instagram or something like that, you've got to be able to have an awareness and an understanding of, like you said, those principles that make that system work. So the people who go viral know how to engineer content to get the maximum amount of reach. The people who are billionaires know how to engineer money and leverage money to maximize their return on the risk that they're taking. People who are in the top echelon of politics know how to maximize their words and their the they know how to speak to the problems and pains and power of the people that they wish to influence to such a degree that it gets them where they want to go. So it's like you got to know your target, you got to know your goal, and then you got to backtrack from that, reverse engineer what that's going to be.
So
Kind of,
in simple words, you are saying that all influencers are very good communicators.
I wouldn't say all influencers are good communicators, but if you're going to be a successful one, you're going to have to be.
Yeah.
You know.
So at last, do you have anything to say to my audience and to the world? So at last, do you have anything to say to my audience and to the world who watches this video?
Man, I just want to say, I would say use your words. Let's just go with that. Use your words. Know what they are and use them in the real world. Use them for yourself. take inventory of the conversations that you're having and cross-check that with the conversations that you want to have. Like if you have those dreams and those ambitions to be whoever you want to be, are your conversations getting you closer or further away from that? Because that's where you're going to find your community that's going to help you fuel those goals and put you into the right company that will be the vehicle to get you to where you want to go. So I would just say, communicate value, find the value that you want to communicate and start doing it. Get with the right people who have the same operating mindset. Don't go it alone. So you can build the company that you want, whether it's the business that you have or the company, the people that you keep around you. And if anybody wants help with their business, their sales, their marketing, their podcasting, I'd be more than happy to be of assistance in that way.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay, I think I can. I'm sure in maybe in 15 or 20 years, I'm going to see you very big in a very big position.
We'll see. I hope so.
Because what you said is 100% truth. The words. Know where to use the words. Only a person who understands the importance of the words will say that. This, I'm sure, in coming 20 years, I'm going to see you, in top list of successful people in the world.
Thank you, Sai. I appreciate it. And when that happens, we'll just do another. We'll do another Instagram
Yeah.
live at
After
midnight
20
your
years.
time.
After 20 years.
Yeah,
But
sounds good.
there may or may not be Instagram. There will be another application which comes the technology will do in that.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll do like the virtual reality thing. It'll be like you'll probably be sitting in my room, but like in a weird way, like in a technology way.
Yeah, AI, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. So I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Keep having
thanks,
fun.
man. Thanks. Can I put this video on my YouTube channel and on social media and on internet with your permission?
Yeah, man, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have anything to share? I will put any links of yours so that people who
Yeah,
watches this video can connect you.
yeah. Strongmy.com is my website. If anybody wants to join a community, so I have put together a community based on all the principles that I've said on this show. So um, it's free. I also have paid courses on it, but it's free to join the community and get in these conversations. So strongcom.mn.co, strongcom.mn.co is how you can get access to that. At Aaron Dunn Works is my Instagram and all my socials. And then I've got a YouTube channel as well called Strong Com with Aaron Dunn. And I'll be sure I'm subscribed to you. And yeah, that's where you can find me online.
Thanks, man. Thanks for giving me your valuable time and telling some important points to the world.
Yeah, thanks for hosting me, man. Keep on going.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
All right, be great.